here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite updated molds, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the BadCube Huff. I want to first and foremost say this was sent to me by Titan One Toys. Have to give them a lot of love. They send me a lot of stuff, and I'm just being honest and upfront about it. They send it to me even though they know I'm not going to buy it, and they send me a lot of that stuff that they know I'm not going to buy, so I'm very appreciative of that, and I think it says a lot about them. They also send little candies in the box, which is cool, but I definitely want to give them some love. Link to them will be in the description, because they sent me this, they sent me Piper, and they know I'm not interested in buying either. And I just hit the tripod. Thank you to them, and you guys should check them out. That being said, we got a couple accessories to get through, and let's go ahead and talk about them now. So he comes with this alternate blaster. Not a lot of love into this, neither in the sculpt or paint, which is a bit of a bummer. Maybe this is how, I'm not that familiar with this. I don't know if he used this in the cartoon or not. I'm guessing he probably did, and I'm guessing it probably looked like this, but this is a bit plain for my tastes. He also comes with this pistol that's stored in here in truck mode. We'll take that out now, and then we'll put this back together. And that simply has the barrel flip up and the handle flip down. If I can do it. Do you believe in me? There it is. Nice silver finish on it. Simple sculpt, but I like this one a lot better. And he holds both of those just fine. And lastly, he comes with an alternate face sculpt. Face sculpt. So he's got that. He's got the gray. Yeah, it's definitely a gray paint on there, a dark gray paint in the mouth, and then the Robin mask painted on as well. Gimmick-wise, Optimus trailer can go on the back hitch. It was a little bit of a pain to get it in there, though, just as a heads up. So let's talk about the vehicle mode. Size comparisons-wise, there it is next to Tiger Track, so we'll get that out of the way. Pretty good size. Let's see what else. So some parts of this are painted and some parts aren't. There's paint here, it looks like. This is all orange plastic. That's orange plastic. There's paint back here. So it is a mixed match of oranges. It bothers me underneath these harsh lights, but I do get the impression, let me just see. Yeah, I just took it. I don't think on your shelf it'll be an issue, but it is something worth noting. Smokestacks come through nicely. We got a translucent. I wish this was not as translucent, but we do have a translucent, and they did do the right shade of blue for it, it feels like, so I dig that. I like stuff like that. I like it when they take those sorts of things into account instead of just having the flat kind of clear translucent. I like when they do stuff like that. And the rest of it is fairly straightforward. Plastic wheels, rolls like a champ. You know, underneath there's a lot to be exposed. But yeah, I never had the original Huff. I never had the opportunity to look at it either. So I don't really know how this fares in regard to that in terms of solidity and things of that nature. But this is kind of fine. You know, I don't think you should necessarily expect a whole lot more. This is silver paint here, translucent on top of what looks like silver paint. Then we have some red paint on top of the translucent as well. Silver paint on the wheels. So there is a lot added here. I will say there's nothing striking about it, but there's nothing hateful about it either in any way. It's just kind of, it's fine. All right, so let's transform it. Look, before we do, I just want to make a note. You can have this head turned around to the back. So, you know, I'm sure there's somebody that already wrote that in the comments. But just trust me, you can have your head around like that. It just wasn't like that before. All right, so open these up here and here. And that'll let you get the arms free. Take this piece out. This has some silver paint on there too, so that's worth noting. And this comes around, it's on a ball peg, and sits around to the side. And then open this up and tuck these pieces in. Close this down, and then this whole piece is on a slider right here, but it is tight. Like it's a tight little slider. There. So just use a little caution there. You can spin the head around now. Bring this up, that's also on a slider. Bring the wheels around and slide them down, also on a slider. And then once that's down and these are together, you can slide this back down and then bring the backpack back up. And these actually peg in underneath of the cab. And then bring the shoulders up and keep the arms out of the way, and that's the upper body. And the leg transformation is surprisingly intuitive. Flip these pieces up here, flip these pieces out to the side. Open the legs up, they'll be pegged in if you have the gun especially. Open these pieces up here, you can bring the foot down, bring the tire in. It's on another sliding bar. This comes in and pegs in. We'll show that again because I didn't specify something, but I will here. So bring the foot down and then also straighten the toe. And then slide I just did it and I didn't say it. And then you have Huff. And I'll clean them up and we'll take a look at them. Before we do, one thing I forgot to mention, bring these down around on the back. Now, let's talk about the figure, which you know is my favorite part. So we have the head. The head is on a ball peg that sits up nice and high though, so at least you get a good range all the way up to there. Not much down, to be fair, and a decent swivel. So that works. The inside of the face is painted the exact same, except the eyes are painted with like a metallic blue, which looks good. The lip expression is a little dull. That may bother you. It may not. Just pointing it out. The chest feels like die cast to me, and it is painted both the blue and the light blue. So that looks good. That looks real good. Swivel works just fine. We have shoulders. They're basically universal joints attached to giant ball pegs. So nothing, I guess it's more so not a universal. So you get a hinge here is what it is. And that gets you up to there. Let me see if I can't adjust this a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, that's about 90 degrees. I think that's fine. The arms are silver. Obviously, we've already talked about that. And then you get the swivel around. Because it's a ball peg, you do get a little bit across the body, so that's nice. No issues there. And then you have a bicep swivel that's absolutely seamless. That's what a good-looking joint looks like, ladies and gents. I almost said ladies and folks. What's that all about? Double-jointed elbow, getting you past 90 degrees. Wrist swivel. Fingers are on a base pin knuckle. It's a tight little joint here, so be cautious. And same for the other side. Now the hips, you do have these pins here. Cost of doing business, a little bit of plain in there. I don't think most people have issue with that anymore. These are universal joints basically for the hips. Get you the full Van Damme. Get you the full Monty. No issues there. Thigh swivel. This is interesting. Here, I just wonder how that's put together. Little sculpt in there, and that's it. Knees, single hinge, get you 90 degrees. And then we have the calves, which do, I have to admit, look a little plain. Like, I'm guessing that this might be painted. I think this is painted. This is painted here. That's why it looks so good. So, like, it's really just this that's not painted on this guy, and then this, but this does look a little plain. Just being honest. It is that glossy plastic. I know, like, that glossy plastic, like the Fans Toys, not Fans Toys, the KFC, not the KFC. What am I talking about? X-Transbot Cyclonus. Not the gloss, like, you know, not like a gloss coat. It's just a glossy plastic. So that's that. And no real detailings or anything to show there. For the ankles, they're on a ball peg. As you can see here, the ball peg is on a hinge, so you do get a slight ankle tilt up, a slight ankle tilt back, a toe hinge, which is nice. That's a die-cast piece here, and that's also painted. And then a pretty significant rocker. So all in all, he works really well, and for the most part, he's painted. So I don't have a whole lot of complaints, just a few kind of minor gripes. Back of him cleans up as well as a Huffer should, I suppose. You gotta clean this up? This is terrible. Huffer cleans up better than this.
Well, what a surprise.
It's made by BadCube.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Size comparison wise, there he is with the other a few other mini-bots anyway, and I think he fits in nicely. I think he scales well. And there he is next to X-Transbot's Crank, I think his name was, their Huffer. And this guy blows him out of the water. Really does. If I were... Look at those joints just fail before your eyes. Unreal. Anyway, if I cared more about the character, I'd probably swap him out, and maybe I will swap him out at some point. But as for right now, I'm probably not going to swap him out. But the more, I'm going to be honest with you, the more I'm looking at him, the more I feel like I have to. I guess I got to make that phone call. Either way, I think I'm going to have to make that phone call. God bless America. But yeah, there the two are next to each other. Final thoughts-wise, let's talk about the negatives. So it does use a lot of those sliding joints. Sometimes those create issues, especially over time, so that's something to be cautious about. It's something to take into consideration. There is a lot of paint on this guy, which looks great. However, the parts that aren't painted look that much worse because of it, which is a bit of an issue as well, at least to me. May not be to you, but that's why we have different opinions. And honestly, that's really the only complaints I have. There's a lot more positives here than there are negatives. The paint is great where it is painted. Could have used some more, but I think I have to be ultimately satisfied with the amount of paint that's here. It's significant. The sculpt is good. The sculpt is a little plain, but that seems to be the direction that everyone is going these days, to do that ultimate cartoon look, which is, I guess, okay. The issue with that is that then you have multiple companies with multiple different styles producing figures that ultimately end up looking identical. Ultimately. Just want to say it 2 more times. I think the big bonus points here need to be going for the transformation. Transformation is relatively straightforward. It's intuitive, which I don't feel like any BadCube transformation has ever been. It just flows, it makes sense, everything moves the way it should, with the exception of some of those sliding mechanisms, which always tend to be a bear. But for the most part, given BadCube's reputation, given their previous releases, I think they made a figure that actually is pretty fun to flip back and forth. Which to me isn't necessarily a big deal in terms of rating a figure, but I do think it's more impressive when they can figure a way out to make it fun. I do think that that's like kind of the ultimate check in the checkbook, you know, is when they make a transformation fun and it still has a great aesthetic both in bot mode and in alt mode. It's just more impressive, or all that more impressive rather, when the engineering is fun and easy to flip back and forth. So do I recommend it? Absolutely. I think it's a good purchase. It's well built. It's pretty solid. It looks the part, and I think you'll be happy with it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.